Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Niki Koss, Brenna, and Bebe Wood about Crushed, which is a film that just released on Tubi. Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, good to see you.
Nice
Thank you for your time.
This is really exciting. It's pretty crazy. I was talking to you guys before we started. I mean, Niki, we'll start with you. I mean, the turnaround for this was pretty quick. I remember like you posting about like making this movie, and now it's out. Like it's pretty crazy, the turnaround for this.
Yeah, it's definitely the fastest turnaround I've ever experienced. And it was really tough to make it happen in the time that was allotted for us. But thank God I had such an amazing cast, because there were multiple times when, we only had one take and we had to just go. And they were my little one take wonders. So we did it. All in all, it was tough, but I'm happy with it. And it was a good challenge.
Brenna, last time you came on the show, we talked about Night Night. Obviously, a little bit different vibes with this film than Night Night. The mindset, I feel like, changes a little bit maybe with, the actual acting process of getting in character and everything. But at the end of the day, is the process of like getting into the character the same kind of formula-wise, like preparation-wise for you?
That's a really good question. I would say with every character I do, no matter if it's drama or comedy, like I always like to have a little notebook for them, or like I write down like their thoughts throughout the day, stuff like that, so I can go back and refer to like, if I need help getting into it. But I would say for comedy, for this, was definitely a lot more fun.
Yeah.
It was. It was just like, I don't know, like we would be laughing in between takes. You'd be like, okay. And like have to do like the Sharpay Evans kind of thing. But I don't know. I think this for me was a little easier just because I don't know why, but it was just really, really fun. So it was similar but different,
It's interesting too that you bring up the comedy, because Bebe, this movie is really funny, and you're on Love Victor on Hulu, which has kind of its funny moments, but at times isn't supposed to be that funny and has a lot of other kind of messages in it. What's it like being part of a project where it's like the first kind of main kind of thing is laughs? Like that's kind of the priority, basically.
It's kind of funny because, on Love Victor, I mean, it is like a more serious show for a comedy. And my character alongside Felix is like the comedic relief. So my purpose on Love Victor, not always, but a lot of the time is to provide the laughs. Whereas I think for Crushed, my character is sort of, focused on her own, mission. Like her journey, I feel like, is kind of more serious in the film compared to everything that is happening around her, which is so, comical. So even though, it is sort of the opposite of Love Victor in that sense, I'm having, like an opposite experience than I do on Love Victor.
Yeah.
If that makes.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's so true. Niki, you're a lot of people, we talked about this last time you were on Night Night, but I'm going to try when we were talking about Night Night, but I'm going to try to spin this a little differently. I mean, directing is kind of something you're really focusing on right now. You also act as well. You've been working on a lot of projects now, and you've been doing interviews and press about it. Is there something specifically about directing, and maybe you can talk about this film, that you are really kind of interested in terms of kind of learning about and growing as a director, in terms of maybe different, like when it comes to like cameras or when it comes to work with the actors? Anything specifically about that?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's always a learning curve for me with the tech side of it, because I didn't go to film school, and I'm just not a very tech savvy person. So I'd say I'm always looking to, learn more about that element, and obviously the cinematography that comes along with that piece of it. But I think that I really found my sweet spot on this movie. I really fell madly in love with comedy.
And it was my first time directing a comedic feature. And it obviously the tone was very different than it was on set of the last one, which was a psychological thriller. And it was just fun, and I felt like it came a lot easier to me than any other genre I've ever done before, which was really cool and kind of like a breath of fresh air. But I had to kind of check myself, because like I there were moments where I was like, oh, don't get lazy here, you know. But I think that comedy is definitely my new favorite genre, and I want to keep doing more.
100%. No, absolutely. It's a question for both you, Brenna and Bebe. You know, Brenna, we'll start with you, and then Bebe, you could chime in as well. I mean, this is a movie that dropped on Tubi. It's exciting right now because there's so many different streaming platforms out there, so much opportunity for new projects. I mean, how excited are you for you to be kind of a storyteller in the landscape now, Brenna, of streaming platforms where there's more opportunities?
Oh, I mean, that's a great, I think that's a great question. I think you even answered it right there. I think it's amazing. I think there's so many different projects coming out now that are so amazing, and all these streaming platforms give an opportunity for so much to be seen and shown. I really think people are going to like this if you just want a really good laugh. And I would definitely recommend this movie for sure. And Tubi is a great streaming network, and I'm so happy that we got to work with them.
100%. Bebe?
I think streaming is really exciting because there's a lot of people that, like, I don't know, may not have been given opportunities elsewhere that now get to tell their stories that are arguably, you know, the ones that need to be heard the most. I think like a lot of the stuff that I gravitate to, just in terms of my personal watching experiences on streaming, you know, are people that I love the show Rami. You know, that's a Hulu show, and I don't think that would be on, you know, any other network except
plugging
Hulu.
Plugging Hulu, right? Yeah. Love the love Victor actor plugging.
I mean it that way, but
Love it.
you know, I think streaming just gives, like, I don't know, it's such a great opportunity to the storytellers, because they can really, you know, tell whatever story they wish in whichever way they wish, which is just really cool.
It's crazy because I remember someone telling me about Tubi, and I did like an interview about it like a couple of years ago. Someone had a comedy special. Yeah, it was actually Jamie Kennedy's comedy special dropped on Tubi, and I never heard of it. And then it kind of started like sprinkling around more, like Tubi is around and everything. And then I remember seeing the post about the movie, Niki, about Crush, that you were going to film it, but I had like no idea it was going to be on Tubi. Like I just like, maybe it was mentioned somewhere, but like I thought that was really, really cool. And I feel like it's a really cool opportunity for, you know, the streaming service Tubi to get out there and do movies. And I love this movie. Like y'all did a great job on this.
Thank you.
It's weird, right? Though, like you make something, you put it out there, and then it's kind of the world's decision of like what they think about it. Like it's a free for all for everyone. Like it is. It's never not going to be weird.
Oh, it's
terrifying. It's nerve-wracking, but also, you know, when it is good, it feels so good. You know, to have loved doing and filming this with everybody, and then everybody else loving it as well. It's such a good feeling.
Absolutely. I thought it'd be cool to have you all ask each other questions. Bebe, do you have a question for Brenna or Niki about working on Crush or anything specifically?
Niki, I actually want to know, like, what was the moment for you that you were like, directing is the next step for me? Like, this is what I need to do.
Oh, that's a good question, Bebe. So I've been directing for like 10 years. And then about 3 years ago, I made my first feature, and I always loved directing as much as, you know, everything else I was doing. But then there was a moment on one of my days off when I was making the first feature I ever did. And I was sitting with my mom on a patio, and I literally just like, we were talking about my childhood and growing up and how directing has really like turned into this culmination of everything I've always loved and everything like I've always felt like I was good at and came naturally to me, and also things that were challenging but I like was so interested in exploring further, and it was this really beautiful, almost like cathartic moment where I just kind of like broke down and I was like, oh my god, this is it, like this is what it's always been. And ever since that, it's just, been all encompassing, my love for it.
That's awesome.
That's
Niki,
lovely.
Niki, do you have a question for Brenna? And we'll go Brenna to
I have,
BB.
I have a question for both of you guys, actually. And thank you for allowing me to, because I've been wanting to ask you guys this. What was the scene that you guys were filming that was the hardest to not to laugh?
Oh,
I have mine.
You go first. You go first.
For some reason. Okay, this happened a couple times. Also, one of our castmates actually peed her pants in one scene. And I won't say who it was. It was so funny. But like the bedroom scene was definitely funny when I literally had to scream like that's literally what I just said. But it was the one where me and Nick had to make out. It was because when we were making out, he had to pull away, and it was such an aggressive pullback, and we're literally screaming in each other's faces like this close. But we both, and if there was any pauses, we'd kind of just wait, and like we had to like literally we had to like sorry, do it again. Like it took a little bit to get that scene done because I was just hysterical for some reason.
Yeah, you were laughing a lot that scene.
I really was.
What was yours?
I can't remember. I what I do remember is laughing when there were some moments on the bus that were just really funny for literally no reason. I think mainly because it was like 3 or 4 in the morning that like I just like couldn't stop laughing.
Hey, you're on now.
Yeah, there was a moment when the line was like, Kate, this is unhealthy behavior, and for some reason Brenna went, Kate, you're unwell. And the way she said it with like such earnestness was so funny. I totally ruined the take because I was just like, what the hell? You're unwell. So funny.
That was a good
And the best part is you can see it a little bit. Like we're both like,
well, you can see it. If you watch that scene, you can see both of us like trying, and then she started laughing and I started laughing. Wait, there's also one more really quickly. BB, we were at, it's like the standoff. We're eating at the diner. Dying at BB.
This is actually my moment. This is my moment because you and I had a difficulty after this.
This was hard. She was eating cereal and I'm eating fruit. But then it's on my coverage, and all of a sudden she starts eating her cereal like this. You did not do that before.
I didn't want to eat more cereal, so I just started miming it, and for some reason,
it was so funny. Yeah, that was a hard one for me to like get back to.
See, I feel like our people. You might have this question. Answer this question. Do you feel like you were very honest about certain things and takes and everything? I feel like I want to ask people about that. Like, what's the funniest thing that happens on set? And I get a lot of like generic answers, or I get a lot of like, oh, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. Like, do you think people just don't want to say?
So many funny things happen that it's like it is hard to think about.
Oh, absolutely.
Brenna's like, when I was making out with Nick.
I didn't know exactly the moments. Like I was like, get your shit together. I was like, come on. Because I was mad. I was like, we got to get this going. And I'm like, we're holding people up, like filming. So I was like, stop.
The interview took a turn when Brenna said her answer. Then BB was about to. Brenna's like, oh, I have one more, BB, while you were eating the cereal. That's so good. Brenna, do you have a question for BB that's not related to cereal?
Okay, yeah, I do. All right, what was your favorite thing about Kate? Like playing Kate?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I heard. I heard. What's your favorite thing about playing cake? So, because I was still in the cereal, so that's why I started laughing.
I'm never thinking about
What's your favorite thing about cake?
Sorry. Yeah, I had to see why I was laughing because you asked that question, just a simple question about her character, and I'm like holding it in. Sorry.
What's there not to like about cake?
Good question though, either way. To be honest,
both great questions.
Oh my God,
but
okay.
I think my favorite thing about her, I've never had to spend so much time with the character before, because like she's like in every scene of the film, And so I've never had to spend so much time with a character before. And so I think maybe my favorite thing about her is just like being able to see like her thought process all the time.
I'm so sorry. No,
Don't apologize. You're okay. You're okay.
No,
Petey,
okay.
Petey, that was such a good answer. I literally couldn't have said it better and myself. It's such a good answer.
No,
Thank you.
really.
Thank you.
You did have to spend so much time with her in such a short amount of time, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, because I asked before, Nikki. I asked before when we were waiting up for you, because I know obviously you knew each other, Brenna and Nikki, for Night Night. But I was just wondering how you met, if you knew Bebe before. But no, it's
we
like
don't write in.
yeah. So, no, I wanted to thank you all for coming on Popternative. We're coming back on the show. Nikki, I feel like you're a 4-time guest now because we did an Instagram Live.
I know. I might as well just become the host.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you kind of asked the question that just kind of took over the whole interview. So you are the host.
Giving you a run for your money.
And Brenna Bebe
Sorry,
now.
I don't know what happened.
No, it was great. It was all the cake's fault. But no, this was so great. It's streaming now on Tubi, Crush, so they can go check it out. Very quickly, plug away your socials. Bebe, where can people follow you on social media?
On Instagram, I am Broadway Bebe, and I think on Twitter, I'm just my name. And on Spotify, I'm just my name as well, and I have a record out.
Awesome.
Everybody can listen to it because she's so extremely talented and it's really good.
That's amazing. Yeah, last time you came on the show, we were talking about your music, I'm pretty sure.
Were we?
I think it was like a music interview. Yeah, like we obviously talked about Love Victor, but like I think it was about you had like a music video out or something.
I think we were talking about the music video because I think my Love Victor cast also were in the music video.
It was the music video. It was the music video. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Brenna, on social media, where can they follow you?
Brenna D'Amico, just my name on Instagram and
Okay.
And then on TikTok, it's Brenny88.
Nikki?
It's all just Niki Koss on everything.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative. You're going to be able to watch Crush now, streaming on Tubi. Until next time, this is Nikki, Brenna, and Bebe, and Petey Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.